Hello everyone and welcome to another Monsta Infinite video. If you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe to the channel, and if you will find this video useful, please leave a like and a comment down below. It will help me a lot, especially that if you can see this channel is very new, so the YouTube algorithm really is not yet helping me achieve those viewership, especially from those people who are interested in Monsta Infinite but can only see Monsta Infinite videos in other languages that are not necessarily English. So anyway, without further ado, in this video, we will be talking about game description, monster races, and monster classes, as well as the gameplay. So just to provide everyone an information on the game description, Monsta Infinite will be a MMORPG, or so-called massively multiplayer online role-playing game, and it's a fusion of so many game concepts actually. So you can think of it as a trading game like Pokemon and Magic cards. At the same time, it's also something like Idle Heroes or Summoner's War, which is a turn-based game. And then it's also a play to earn concept. So it's a turn-based card game concept that co-joins gaming and cryptocurrency. And if you have heard of Axie Infinity, then this game is very much similar to that game. So it implements a play to earn concept by introducing a governance token called Moni, and it's now available on certain centralized exchanges and decentralized exchanges, and will be listed further on several platforms in the future. And of course, whatever we will get from the game, our NFT Monstas will be available in the marketplace of the official marketplace of this game. So the game is actually set in Shani. That's the universe of the game wherein there lies Monstas. So those are your that's your entities with 6 body parts, including the head, face, body, tail, arms, and legs. And we will have a total of 9 classes originating from 3 moon nations. And those 3 moon nations are coming from 3 races. So we have the first race, which are the Cyborg race. They are coming from the Titan nation. So according to the initial description in the Monsta Infinite website, so the Cyborgs use advanced techniques and tools to improve the efficiency of natural resources and optimize their automated systems. So perhaps we can speculate that cyborgs will have limited, or at least they have cheaper monster resource, or what do you call this, in-game resource utilization to improve their capabilities. They are constantly exploring and understanding the law of nature to truly master their regularity, and their bodies are infused with inventions and tools to help them master the energies of the nature. We don't know really what this means yet, but basically, if you will look at the features of your cyborg monsters, so you can see that they have peculiar body parts, like for example, you can see here the Terminator, which is the one with Iron Man hands. And you have the Alchemist with a certain wand or stalk, and of course you have the Prime with the horns. Another monster race is is called the Elf, no, from the Rhea nation, and they are magically addicted. They normally live in forests which have magical elements because oftentimes being able to communicate with some facet of the nature compared with the cyborg. So they rather respect and believe in the god of nature, the power of nature, can try to be on their own, but only to use with the help of nature itself. So perhaps we can speculate that this elf race, or the ones coming from the Rhea nation, has something to do with the utilization of in-game resources which are farmable, you know? And perhaps they would be the best for farming, but we're not yet sure. And finally, we have the Orcs from the Lapetus nation, who they live in harsh environment, so they believe in their own latent power and will only put trust in the strength of the body. And they have primitive tools, like for example, if you see here, they have the wooden swords and javelins, and they often like to simulate themselves in extreme environment to seek inner improvement and to test their limits. So they believe that their potential is unlimited and are able to defeat the gods with their endurance. So those are the different races. Now each race has 3 Monsta classes. For the cyborgs, so we have the first one are the Terminators. So they are renowned for delivering massive critical damage, and they are agility type monsters. So if we can speculate, probably they are the ones who can deal with high damage, and they are able to attack multiple times, or at least their attack speed would be higher than the rest of the other monsters. The second type in the cyborg race, or the Titan Nation, are called alchemists. So according to the in-game or the game description, so they have a geeky and gimmicky personality, and they are intelligence type monstas. So they like to work and do many things in succession, meaning to say probably they can do a lot of combo. But one of the things that we can speculate is that they can be support units, because if you will see here, many of their abilities can be helpful to allies, but they also have some multitasking activities to dominate their enemy. And this is your prototype alchemist. And the last one for the cyborg nation are your strength type. So primes is the definition of strength, with great health and the ability to regenerate. So based on this initial information, we could probably speculate that primes are your tanks, with the ability to regenerate and heal, and they are also capable of empowering those around them. So probably they also introduce buffs, like perhaps increase defenses or increase attack power. Although they are pretty, we can expect that they could probably be pretty slow, because according to this definition, they seldom follow up with many attacks, but they can easily overpower others with pure strength. So these are your cyborg type monstas. Now, going to the next monster race, or the Elves, coming from the Rhea nation, we have the first type, which is the agility type Elves, called your Nightingales. So the Nightingales have extreme maneuverability, making them effective at using most abilities. So probably similar to the Terminators, they would also be high speed type of monsters, and they can have repetitive skills to attack. And when the same move is done many times, its efficiency will increase exponentially, achieving total mastery. So perhaps we can expect that Nightingales, if they can do combo, they can really have strong skills and attack. Yeah. So the next type would be the intelligent type elves, which are called the prophets. No, and they are so-called prophets because they uh, technically are the charm, nature's charm of protection. So they have the ability to keep enemies at bay and their allies alive. So perhaps based on this description, we can expect that they can probably freeze or stun enemy. They can also heal, uh, or even perhaps shield them. No? So with their close affinity with nature, they can borrow its attribute to work wonders, and they are friendly and always powerful addition to any team. So I think based on this description, prophets are really support type units with the ability to increase, so monster stats during your gameplay. And the last type of Monsta in the Elf race or the Rhea nation are called your Golems, and they are the strength type Elves, no, and they have an aggressive nature due to high resilience. So again, similar to Prime, this would probably be expected to be your tanky units. So they are not afraid of taking damage and getting hits. They reduce the efficiency of enemies with various techniques, and their attacks can stop you in your tracks if you're not careful. So we can also expect that probably golems are able to stun enemies as well. But we will know for certain when the game is launched in the first quarter of 2022. Now, the last nation and the last monster race are called the Orcs, no, from the Lapetus nation, and we have Juggernauts as your agility type monsters. So basically, Juggernauts are described with mobility and speed. So I think most of the agility type monsters are consistently described as those with high mobility and speed. But compared to, for example, the Nightingale, no? So Nightingale, it has been described as if you do a same move multiple times, no? So its efficiency will be increased exponentially. But for Juggernauts, so they have a strong and light body, no? So they seem to have unlimited energy and like to rush straight into the battle before they even start. So probably among the three agility types, this is the fastest. Now, these are the fastest units, and they're not necessarily strong, I think, but if they are coupled with special skills, probably they could turn the tides of your game on the first turn. Now, the second type of monster in the Orc race or the Lapetus nations are called your Bomo. Bomo, which looks like Clefairy from Pokemon. So according to the description, so they have occultic ways and always manage to do something in odd ways. So perhaps this can be a hint that they will have passive skills, no? And they often perform nonsensical actions which they claim to be effective against bad luck. So I'm speculating that probably these are random effects given inside the battle. Like for example, perhaps one of their skills would be if you flip a coin and then you get a certain number, they will either increase defense, add attack power, etc., etc. And then another description here is that rumor has it that they can even revive the dead. So we can already right away speculate that these are the revivers in the game. You know? And lastly, we have the Grognak, or your strength type orcs from the Lapetus nation. So they are the best warriors according to the uh, game description. So they are boastful and unreasonable to the point where even allies find it difficult to control them. So probably these are very strong units, but perhaps what we can speculate is that whenever they do a move, they could potentially harm your uh, allies as well. So, but perhaps it's a good risk to take because they are the best warriors according to the game description. Secretly, they are shy and kind in nature and does their very best to protect their allies. So we don't know for certain what it means when it says it's difficult to control them. Maybe there are many random skills for the Grognak, but nonetheless, they seem to be similar to other strength types in a sense that they are also tanky units, or at least units which can provide protections like perhaps shields or damage reduction effect. So having said that, so those are your 9 different Monsta classes from the 3 nations. Now, one of the things that we could expect for this game in the future is that it's a combination of so many game ideas currently existing right now, no? So if we will see this Monsta Infinite gameplay preview, so it has been described that players will battle in a card-based gameplay, and this video is actually a preview of the PVE, no? Or this is how we farm in-game resources. So we will need a minimum of 3 Monstas, and that 3 Monstas can probably be a combination of the 9 Monsta classes. And then for each game, no, so each player will draw 5 cards from a draw file. So if you can see here, there's a draw file. And then for each turn, there will be 5 cards that can be drawn, no? Which can be used by the players to apply onto the opponents or the allies to apply actions to the target. So for example, based on what we will get, no, like if there would be a skill to regenerate, so one Monsta can use that, and then you can place the card and then put it, and then that can either heal or improve a skill of your Monsta. Now, it can also be used onto the opponent. No? So, like for example, that one card there was directed to the opponent and making it vulnerable to your attack. So this card will be placed into the discard pile, which will then be reshuffled into the draw file when needed, except for certain cards that are exhausted on use. So this is where the concept of Pokemon trading cards and magic cards come into play. So perhaps there would be energy type cards here, skill-based type cards here, so that can only be used once per game, but there are others which can be used multiple times during the game. And then players will also have an option to end their turn, no, even without using any of the cards. And probably this would also happen whenever you draw a card, and then the monster that could use that card has already been dead. You know? So the devs are saying that they made sure that with every turn a player takes, there will always be a possibility for comebacks. No? So now, perhaps what you have also seen here is that every turn, there is a 5 seconds opportunity, no, to perform orb dragging in a match 3 puzzle system. So this is like your Candy Crush, in the game. And what the Candy Crush type uh, mechanic adds to the game is that based on the number of combos that you will get, that could probably enhance a certain skill that you are using. So this use of the match 3 system or match 3 puzzle system is not only to make the gameplay more interesting and intense, so because it's a limited time, and then depending on your capacity, you can be really strong. But the devs are also claiming that this is also to act as a captcha, against bot farming in the gameplay. So a lot of the current games right now are using bots, so that they can farm uh, very efficiently, using computers. And if there's a captcha mechanic wherein random things have to happen, then it makes the game much more enjoyable and free of those bots, or at least it limits. Not necessarily it's a completely effective mechanism to eliminate all bots, but it will be a slightly more sophisticated way of gameplay. Therefore, easy bots will be prevented from being used. Now, the cards are based on the Monsta skills. So I think this is where each of the Monsta class would have effect. So like for example, if a certain Monsta is strength type, then therefore the Monsta skills would be probably related to strength type attacks or defenses. And they are able to gain more skills with each body part. So if you remember a while ago, we said that each monster will be uh, composed of 6 body parts, and each body part, when you augment it or attach it to the monster, it will give you more skills or even stronger skills. And every skill will cost stamina and or mana points. So players must be wise in optimizing their stamina and mana points during the gameplay. So the devs are claiming that they wanted to separate the stamina points and mana points because this will not only allow players to be more strategic in their counters and actions, and since each monster have different stamina points and mana points according to their stats, it would produce a more depth to the strategy of the game, because it will provide you with a more competitive atmosphere, in a sense that you can either balance your stamina points and mana points, or you can also prioritize which skills are you going to maximize. Now, they are also claiming that they are looking for possibilities of multiplayer gameplays, where players will not only be able to collaborate with other players in the future, uh, but they also want players to stand a chance to win even special rewards in events. So I think one of the items that they would also include in in the game later on is the ability for one user to farm a land, and then lands can be used for certain events like perhaps PvP and tournaments, etc. etc. Now, last information that we have right now about the gameplay is that each body part, which can give your monsters different skills, can be upgraded using the Stamentelus token. So that's the in-game currency wherein, based on the website information, this can only be bought in-game, and it's a one-way conversion system, meaning to say from your Moni, you can buy STT but not the other way around. But I think in the future, similar to Axie Infinity, these STTs, since they are also tokenized, this can also be sold separately in the marketplace, and therefore if you farm a lot of this, that's a huge potential for you to earn in the game. Now, STTs in its organic form are earned when players defeat the Jilakas. No? So the Jilakas are these purple type monsters. So they are technically the villains of the Shani Kingdom or the Shani planet. No? And if you defeat them, so there would be rewards in the form of your STT tokens. And so other ways to do that, other ways to earn your STTs would be, of course, through buying using your cryptocurrencies and or real money. And players may also augment their monsters by sacrificing other monsters for their Monsta cores. So far, that's what we know for the general gameplay. So, are you excited for the game launch this coming first quarter of 2022? Please let me know your thoughts about this game. And if you want to learn more about Monsta Infinite, please subscribe to the channel. You can also watch this video, which are talking about other aspects of the game. If you can see it here, and if you like this one, again, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!
We're calling it a house fire.